Welcome back to Illinois Honeycomb Homestead. Today we are going to be doing some pinto beans. Now with my pinto beans, I have done 14 pounds of pinto beans. Why? Because I want to have a stockpile of all the beans I can get on my shelf, and it's cooked, it's done, and it's a ready, prepared meal. Okay? That's why. And you can do it too. So we're getting ready to get started with this canning, and I hope y'all are enjoying this. So stay tuned while we get started. So the supplies you're going to need for canning, you're going to need your jar lifter, you're going to need your debubbler, and on this debubbler, you'll have your measurements so that way you'll know exactly how much you will need to fill your jar with as far as fluids or food. 1 inch, half inch, 2 inches, and so forth and so on is on here. You will also need your magnet so that way you'll be able to get your lids out of the water so you won't burn yourself either. You will need some vinegar, okay? You will need some padding too because you do not want to put your jars on your countertop because that is cool and you don't want your hot jars on that because it can cause it to crack, okay? You will need your funnels as well. You want to wash and sanitize all of this right here along with a paper towel or a clean towel for your vinegar to wipe your lids with. You would get any type of seasoning you would want to put in with your beans. I will be using just plain salt, a half a teaspoon of that because we're doing pint jars, okay? And you will need your pot of hot beans. You will need a side of water if you're going to put that water with it, or you can use your water from your beans if you would like to do that, okay? You can also, you're going to need your pressure canner and you want to fill that up with 3 quarts of water. And that's what the manual is asking for me to put in my pressure canner. Make sure you check your book so you'll know exactly what you need in yours. You will also need fresh jars. Make sure you check for any cracks in your jars. Check the lids and everything with that. You will also want to wash that with soap and water, and you can sanitize those in your oven on 230 degrees and for 30 minutes. So that way they can be good and sanitized. Or you can use your dishwasher, and if you got a sanitizing button on your dishwasher, feel free to do that. But you want to make sure that your jars are hot and everything is hot when you are doing this process. As far as canning your beans, everything needs to be hot. Okay, so let's get started with our canning. Okay, family, so I got my first 2 hot jars up out of the oven, and we are going to start canning up our beans. And with your beans, when you're using a pint-sized jar, you want to get at least right to the elbow. And I dropped the bean. And that would be right about right here where you have your shoulder. That would be like a cup and a half. So if you got a measuring cup, you can do that, or you can just kind of eyeball it. I want to be kind of precise. So yeah, that's what you need is a cup and a half of beans for your pint. And they'll bring it right to the shoulder, like so, right about there. Okay, and then you're gonna do the next one, same way. Okay. Off here. Okay. It's a little bit too much. Now when it's a little bit too much like that, let me get a spoon. Okay. And you just take your spoon I'm just dropping beans. You would just get a spoon and you would just take out just like that. Okay. A little bit too much in this one as well. Now you can add meat in here, and I will be doing that with some other ones that I do, but right now I'm just going to be using salt. So you're going to use a half a teaspoon of salt. You're going to just put that in. You could put it in before or you could put it in after. It doesn't matter as long as it's in there. And then you're going to get your vinegar ready. Set that to the side. Okay. And now I'm going to scoop some of the juice from my beans in here. Now you can use clear water if you want to, but this is the juice that I had from my beans. And it is good because they have been cleaned and everything, so the water is not dirty at all. At all. So you can do that, but make sure everything is hot. Make sure everything is hot. And you're going to fill your jars all the way to the 1 inch headspace. Okay, to the 1 inch. Okay, and then you're going to debubble. Make sure all the air pockets are out. Okay, and you might get your water may drop a little bit, but that's okay because we're going to bring it right back to that 1/2 inch mark. Okay, we're going to bring it right back. And make sure you're good and debubbled, and then we're going to just bring this water right back to that 1 inch headspace. Just a little bit there and a little bit there. Okay, and after that, now you're going to just dip your paper towel or your rag. Don't burn yourself. This is hot. Okay, I'm going to take that and wipe your jars. This is where you check and see if there's any cracks on your lids. This jar is hot. You want to check the lids while you're doing that. Okay, now you're going to get your pot that has your lids in there, and you want to put them right on top, just like this. Okay. Do the next one just the same way. And then you're going to put your bands on, and you're going to put them on, and they're going to be on fingertip tight. You don't want to crank it too tight. You just need to have it fingertip tight. And I'm going to put this in a canister, and when I finish doing all 8, then I'll take you over to the stove so we can get this pressure started building on the pressure canner. So stay tuned. Okay, family, so now what we're going to do now, I got the jars in. We are getting ready to turn this eye on high, which it is, and we're going to try to build up our pressure so that way we can get the vent to start going into this steam to go into this vent and time it for 10 minutes. And when we get there, I'll come back so that way we can set our timer for 10 minutes while we let it vent. Okay, family, as you can see, we have a steady flow of steam coming up, and that means that you're getting ready to vent, okay? Because when you have steam coming out your little ventilator right here, you want this steam to vent, okay, for 10 minutes. So we're going to set the timer for 10 minutes, and then we're going to let it go for 10 minutes, and then I will be back. So make sure you have a steady, slow steam. You're doing that, okay? And that's what we're doing. And you're gonna let that vent for 10 minutes. And when the 10 minutes is up, I will be back and I'll be able to show you what we do next. Okay, family, the timer has went off. Now I have my 15-pound weight gauge, okay? For my elevation, I'm gonna need a 15-pound weight gauge. But you're gonna set this on top of here, okay? And now you're gonna just wait until you start getting it to rock, okay? You don't wanna set your processing time until this right here builds this pressure up enough to start rocking, okay? And when it rocks, that's when you set your timer for 75 minutes because we're doing pints. Okay? We're doing pints. We're going to do 75 minutes on those pints. I got a 15-pound weight gauge. Okay? And due to my elevation, that is why I got to use a 15-pound weight gauge. All right? So when this builds up pressure and this gets to moving, I'll come back on so that way you can see how it's supposed to be rocking, okay? And I'll be back. Okay, family. So this is what you want it to be. You want it to be having a steady pace where it's like so many minutes is rocking per minute, okay? Just like that. Now, if it's too vigorous, you're gonna have to turn your heat down just a little bit, just so you can get it where it's kind of like a little steady rock. Now I have turned it down to its sweet spot, and it's gonna come on down a little bit, okay? But this is where you want it to be before you start your timer. So now I'm gonna set my timer for 75 minutes because we're doing pint jars, okay? So it's gonna calm down a little bit, as you can see. It's gonna go on down. So you're gonna have a rocking motion, and then it's gonna circle. It's gonna have like a little quick pause to it a little bit, and then it's gonna start right back up again. It's gonna rock and do it. It's gonna just keep doing that. Okay? If this tends to stop on you, then you're gonna have to start your process all over again. Okay? You just start this all over again. Okay? So as you can see how it kind of stopped a little bit, but it's got that little rock to it because I had to turn my dial down because it was going too hard. But now that I got it on my sweet spot, this is what you're going to be expecting, okay? You don't want it to go too hard. And then when the process is over with, I will come back and we'll be emptying out the jars. And then I'll tell you then what you need to do when you finish emptying up your jar. Okay, Tammy, now the timer has been off. We're going to turn off the eye. And at this point, you do not want to touch anything, okay? You do not want to touch this weight. You do not want to touch this pot. You don't want to try to lift off the pot. You want to have everything just come completely down, okay? Now, with this pressure canner and so much pounds I have to use, I'm going to have to wait at least an hour and a half before I can lift this top off. Do not, I repeat to you, do not remove anything until it's completely done, okay? Or you will lose your eyelashes, your hair, your eyebrows, your face. Do not touch nothing, okay? Now I'll be back on and we'll be removing these jars of these when this is over with. So stay tuned. Okay, family. Now that it has stopped, it has completely cooled and died down. We're getting ready to take the jars out. And so you see how there's no steam? That means you have to really just turn this completely. You gotta make sure it just completely died off, okay? Because now there is some steam still left off in here. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna open your top just like this, and you're gonna pull away from yourself. You don't want to pull it towards you. You want to see all that steam, see all that? You don't want this. You want to pull that lid away from you. Okay? Still boiling in here. Still got all that going on. Now I'm going to take the jars out and set them up on the counter. The beans smell good. They look good. Y'all now to get into this. Y'all need to get into this so you can stock your pantries up. I got over a year's worth of beans that I've done. I've got at least 3 years worth of beans that I've done so far. 3 years, y'all. And you can do it too. You know it's expensive at the store. You know it's expensive. Look at there, y'all. Look at that. That is just beautiful. Look at that. 8 jars in a matter of 75 minutes. That's it, y'all. Look at there. Now I'm gonna bring these jars up close so you can see what it looks like. It smells so good, so good. Look at that. Look at them beans. You see that? Now you can put some meat in these as well. Yes, I got some. I put some. What was it? Turkey wings. Yeah, I sat there and boiled them turkey wings and all that. I've got some that I use some of that stock off some turkey wings. You can break it up, put some of that in there with your beans. Yes, all that. You can fix it any way you want to, any way you want to. But I wanted to get some plain ones in on the shelf as well. I have some quart size as well too. So now, after you have done all of that, you want to wait 24 hours before you take your bands off. Okay? You're going to wait 24 hours. That way the jars are cooled and all that. So you're going to take the bands off. You're going to check and see if it's sealed. Now, it will start popping. But to make sure that you really got them sealed, you want to be able to lift on them rims. Okay? And if it has not dropped or anything like that, and you can lift them up like this, then they completely sealed. Another way you can detect that your jars have sealed is if you push the middle of it, and if it doesn't go in, then it's sealed. But if you have an indentation that's going to be going in and out, okay, on those lids, that means it did not seal, okay? You could then start using it right away in your refrigerator or whatever. So that's what you do with your beans. Because if you run it through the processor, again, them bad boys are going to be bushy and you don't want that. So you can just eat them right away, okay? The next thing you want to do is wipe down, wash your jars off really good, and then you want to label and date those, okay? So there you are. You done did it. If you're following me, go get you some jars, go get you some beans. Look down in the description box. You will see there and how you do the cleaning, the whole process of cleaning your beans, doing all that before you start jarring them, okay? Look down in that description box so that way you can see that video. And also, I think that's about it, y'all. I think that's about it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and y'all have yourself a wonderful and blessed day. Bye bye.